All right, Daniel, so we captured a bunch of swings.
Yeah.
You want to take me through the data?
Absolutely. So the first thing we're going to look at here, we have our Blast Connect. Went into analysis, press metrics, and we selected U.
Yeah.
And then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to add some filters. So we just want to see your data from when we're hitting off the machine. So we're going to press live pitch, and then we're going to press the session here, and we're going to press apply. Now that's going to add a filter. And the second thing here we're going to do is we're going to press the three little buttons up in the top and save as CSV file. Now it generates a report, and we can then press, and then opens it up in Excel. Okay, so here we have all of your data from this session. So I'm simply just going to copy paste everything into a separate sheet. So here we have the database file, which this has all of our data from anything from the beginning of the fall up until yesterday.
Sure.
Okay, so we already went ahead and added you in there. So added your name, the date, and the timestamp, and then all your metrics, including a couple custom metrics like speed efficiency, which is bat speed divided by hand speed, and spine angle, which is the connection and impact with the vertical bat angle that then figures out, okay, where is your axis of rotation relative to the ground. And then bat speed acceleration, which is bat speed divided by time to contact. Okay. And then a couple of date labels and time labels that just makes it easier when we're making graphs to sort of combine the data.
Cool.
Okay. So then now the second piece that I've done to visualize the data a little bit better is use a program called Tableau. So Tableau is generally for businesses, but what it does a really good job of is allow you to visualize the data in an easy way and sort of streamline this process. So if we kind of backtrack, we went into the Blast Connect side, exported as a CSV, copy pasted it in, and then now in Tableau, that Google Sheets file is linked.
Gotcha.
So all I have to do once I'm done exporting is press refresh. It's going to run. A little query here, a couple seconds. And then we're going to go and take a little bit closer look at sort of what I look at from the report side of things here. Okay. So the first thing we're looking at here is, so this is all your swings, right? So this is everything we did today, about 35 swings off of game speed off the machine. So what you can see here that's super important is all the little reference guidelines. So you see the red line and then the change of color inside of the box. What that does is it puts the graph into context. It allows us to sort of see, okay, just with ease, just a glance over the data. Okay, we're really good here, we're really good here, we're really good in our on-plane efficiency. Maybe we can get a little bit higher of rotational acceleration, but in general, Brandon, you crush.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go and look at each of the different graphs.
Okay.
So the first one we have is called, with the help of a close friend of mine, Anthony Chattel, we sort of came up, or he came up with the idea of combining time to contact with bat speed. Okay. So we have the x-axis that has the bat speed value, and the y-axis has the time to contact value. So what we were looking for is to get as far over to the right while staying in the bottom right corner as much as possible. Okay, so we can see you do a good job of generating enough bat speed, and you do it over a short amount of time. The second graph we're going to look at is the swing plane graph. So we know that having a smooth swing plane is important, which is your on-plane efficiency metric. But we want to have a smooth swing plane at quality attack angles. So if you have a really smooth swing plane, but it's down, it doesn't matter as much as if it's up through and slightly behind the ball. Because when it comes down to it, the barrel opening up behind the ball at a good angle, obviously at at a good speed, it's going to produce better results. Okay. So looking at plane efficiency with the attack angle piece is really important. The third graph we're going to look at here is the speed efficiency graph. So what that tells me is relative to your bat speed, do you have an appropriate amount of hand speed? So if your hand speed is too high relative to your bat speed, that means you're a pushy hitter. It means that your hands are disconnecting from your body a little bit too soon. Okay? Where if your bat speed is really high, but your hand speed is really low, that means that you're probably going to be a little bit more of a rotational, spinning off the ball type hitter. So we want to find that nice balance between 68 to 70%. The fourth graph we're going to look at here is I just call it rotational acceleration. So what we've done is take our bat speed acceleration number, which is our bat speed divided by contact, and then compare that to the rotational acceleration number. Gotcha. Okay, so can we rotate the bat fast and do that with speed over a short amount of time? And you do an excellent job with that. The fifth graph is our on-plane efficiency. So this just gives us a really clear picture of our early connection and connection impact numbers. We have the guideline here, which on the connection and impact is a little bit more narrow. So we see it goes from about 80 to 95 degrees. Mm-hmm. And on the early connection degrees number, it's a little bit wider because you can start in maybe a little bit more of a, especially higher than mm-hmm. where your spine angle is, and then you can make up for it throughout your swing plane. Gotcha. So if we're out of the box, it's going to be pretty easy to see which number is where relative to that box there. So let's look at this particular athlete. So we have a sort of a unique case where there's a really high variance in her swing plane data. So her plane efficiencies are high and low. Her attack angles are high and low. The attack angle piece, it matches her swing plane. So her swing plane is a little bit more vertical, which means that her attack angles are going to change a little bit more rapidly rather than if her swing was flat. So that makes sense that her contact points are a little bit more inconsistent, but the on-plane efficiency number being anywhere from, you see, 35 all the way up to 85, what that tells me is that her swing is easily affected by change of location, by change of speed. So with that tells me how this particular athlete should be training. Right? So we have to find a way to help her develop this a little bit more consistent swing plane. Mm-hmm. Okay, so spending a lot of time in demanding competitive settings will be perhaps not as beneficial to her as to other players.
And so this athlete you would approach differently than a different athlete, yes. Another athlete.
Yes. So if you look at the polar opposite of the spectrum, here we have someone with incredible time to contact and high quality bat speed, and we have someone where super consistent in terms of where her data falls in all areas. So everything is very much a close cluster relative to the other athlete.